What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It's Horror Fan 34, and welcome to another video. And welcome to another review for the 31 Days of Horror Challenge in October. Getting on to the next review. Now, just like with the Pumpkinhead review, I don't have anything to show for this one because I actually don't own the film. I actually do not own this film at all, so I can't show any a DVD or Blu-ray for this one, so sorry about that. But I guess I can show this because I did meet one of the stars from the film. But I figured this would be a good one to talk about because we're still sticking here in the 80s here. And this is a really fun, entertaining 80s horror comedy. It's considered one of the best of that kind to this day. It's got a big, huge following ever since its release. And I figured this would be a good one to talk about. And of course that is Night of the Creeps. Which, yes, I got this little 8x10 signed by the main female, Jill Whitlow. But I figured I'd show that because that's some form of the movie that I can show because I don't own the movie. So, that's the best I can show. But Night of the Creeps came out in 1986. This was written and directed by Fred Decker. This is the same guy that brought us The Monster Squad, House, and then sadly RoboCop 3, which sadly killed his career pretty much, which is a piece of shit movie, RoboCop 3. I still think The Monster Squad is my personal favorite Fred Decker film, and then I would say this is my second favorite. I mean, for people who have not seen Night of the Creeps, what more can I say? If you're a big horror buff, this is a must-watch horror comedy. Basically, it deals with, in the very beginning, you have these aliens chasing after one, and this guy gets this slug-looking thing in his mouth. It takes place in the 50s. And then it cuts to many years later, and then you have these two guys. You have one played by Steve Marshall and the main guy played by Jason Lively. Yes, that is the half-brother of Blake Lively. And Jason Lively, I always remember him from European Vacation. He played Rusty in National Lampoon's European Vacation, which was actually before this film. Actually, he played in National Lampoon's European Vacation. These two, and Jason Lively's character really likes this girl played by Jill Whitlow, and she's part of this beta house sort of like thing in college. And Jason Lively and his friend are like, okay, I can probably meet her and hook up with her probably at this beta house. And they're saying, okay, well, if you want to join this house, then you got to steal a corpse. So they find this guy who's cryogenically frozen, and it turns out that that's the same guy who had the slug in his mouth from years ago. And Jason Lively says, like, no, let's get out of here. But if his buddy Steve Marshall does the dumb thing, and the body ends up falling down, and they chicken out and they run away, and then the slug sort of like comes out of this guy's mouth and basically multiplies in these other slugs, and these slugs pretty much, they go into your mouth and they lay eggs in your brain, and they kind of turn you into a zombie pretty much. And that's pretty much the premise of the film. And at the same time, you have this detective on the case played by Tom Atkins, who is easily the best part of the movie. Other than Jason Lively, I think those are my two favorite actors of the whole movie. I really like Tom Atkins as the detective. He's got some fun lines of dialogue. But what makes Night of the Creeps work, first off, is the cast members. I really like the cast in this. I really like Jason Lively as the hero. I thought he was very likable. I thought Jill Whitlow, who played I forget her name. I should remember her name, but I really like her as the female lead. I thought she did a good job. I like Steve Marshall. Alan Kaiser, who has a supporting role in this, who was Bubba from Mama's Family, has a role in this. I thought it was very well directed by Fred Decker. It's well written by Fred Decker. It's got some nice bits of humor in there. I really like the back and forth in this one scene between Jason Lively and Tom Atkins. Thought that they had some fun banter between the two of them. And like I said, Tom Atkins as the detective, I thought he was the standout of the film. He's got so many great lines of dialogue. Well, there's some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is your dates are here. The bad news is they're dead. So I really like Tom Atkins in this, and I think from what I remember, I think this is Tom Atkins' favorite role he's ever done was this character, and I can see why because it's a really fun, energetic character. And I've always been a huge fan of Tom Atkins. Got to meet him; he was a really nice guy. Got to meet him, but I'm a huge fan of Tom Atkins. Lethal Weapon, The Fog, this film, and Maniac Cop, and Halloween 3. I mean, I even like him in Bruiser. He has a supporting role in that. Tom Atkins, fantastic character actor. Loved him. He's been in a lot of really good stuff over the years. I think this is one of his best roles. And the special effects are really, really well done, like on the aliens, like on the zombie slug-looking things. He has some really cool effects, like this guy's head splits open and all these slugs come out of his head. So that's a really cool looking shot. Like I said, the special effects are amazing. I really like the musical score as well. You have this really creepy moment in the movie where Jason Lively finds his tape recorder, and you find out that the tape recorder is his buddy talking, and he's dying because he has one of the things in his brain. And it's a pretty creepy scene now that I think about it, when I rewatched it again. Because Jason Lively is pretty much listening to his friend dying pretty much on this tape recorder by his voice. Now, the only really problem I have with the movie is the way it ends. Really, I'm not. There are two different endings of the film. Now, if you buy this on DVD or Blu-ray, the main thing that they'll show is the director's cut ending, which I think is a tiny bit better, but not too much better than the theatrical cut. Because basically, I'm pretty much gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna get into it or not because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it. But there's one ending, the theatrical ending I didn't care for because, you know, it's a very shitty way to end the movie. But maybe I should just give away the shitty ending so that way people don't watch this ending and they can just watch the other ending because it's a little bit better. But the way that, and I know the director Fred Decker hated the way that the theatrical cut ended, that's why he put in the director's cut ending, which is a tiny bit better, but not too much, though. In the theatrical ending, Tom Atkins sacrifices himself for these kids and does a really badass thing. He pours the gasoline and blows himself up with all the other slugs in the shed. So Tom Atkins does sacrifice himself and kills all the slugs at the same time. But they could have just ended it there, but then, you know, the way it's like a cheap jump scare ending where this dog has this slug in it, and then the dog spits up a slug and it goes right into Joe Whitlow's mouth. So of course then it ends like that, and it's like all the kids go through all this crap, and then all of a sudden like that's an ending that you go with. And of course the director hated that because he didn't like that. So then they put in the director's cut ending, which is the one he envisioned originally. And you know the original ending is still it's still like the same thing. You know, Tom Atkins sacrifices himself, and the kids do live at the very end of the director's cut ending. So that's why it's a tiny bit better. But there's something else added to the director's cut ending that I don't care for. That doesn't really make it that much better than the theatrical cut. But that's for you to figure out on yourself. But you'll see what I mean when you see the director's cut ending. So don't even bother with the theatrical ending. Just go with the director's cut ending because that's more the happier ending. But big spoiler with that one. But I saved you from a shitty ending, so no problem. But that's pretty much it for my review for Night of the Creeps. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.